Once it was finally finished, the Death Star was the Emperor's favorite toy. It was also the most boring assignment in the galaxy for a stormtrooper. Tedious inspection drills, endless hours of guarding impregnable force field generators. Things got so bad that when a prison break erupted in the cell block, we were almost happy to have someone shooting at us again. If only we'd known what an embarrassing snipe storm we were about to wade into. We probably would have jettisoned the whole detention block into space.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Battlefront 2. And for some reason, I love how this, I love playing this mission on co-op because I love how the game decides to spawn you up inside the security room like this. And there's just a command post there for some reason. You spawn up there and you have to walk down into the hangar. It's like you were just two stormtroopers on duty in here, and you just were bored and just sitting up there looking down at the hangar, like, oh crap. Sorry, yeah, we'll get right on that. We'll be right there. And it's just really amusing to me. And all the Death Star jokes will ensue from this episode. There's lots and lots of Star Wars and jokes that can be made from this episode. So right away, when I get to the actual command post that exists down here in Instant Action, that room up there we just came from is only there for a shortcut and for screen accuracy in Instant Action. It doesn't actually have a command post in Instant Action. This is the real command post down here in the hangar. So we went swap to the Shock Trooper. I'm going to be deploying mines because we have to protect this command post for 2 minutes or so right here at the beginning. I dropped another mine there because I thought the one I had put down originally was gone, but for some reason the explosion of the other mine deleted the graphics effect for the red glow there, which is odd, but that can happen. Rebels will not spawn from the other room as often, so I wasn't really that concerned about guarding that one. I can pretty much deal with them as they come through, but I was really more concerned about guarding that front entryway there, because the majority of their guys are going to be coming from there based on where they spawn at. We're pretty much done, so I'm going to be swapping back over to the... Oh, I'm going to die, actually. Anyway, yeah, the officer class for the Rebels is the Wookiee, and... Well, actually... I don't remember if it's the special class or the officer class. I'm pretty sure it's the officer class is the Wookiee, and they are very tough. They have a lot of health, and they have the same, almost the same weapons that they did in the first Battlefront, which is the bowcaster and the grenade launcher. The bowcaster, it fires a 5-shot spread, and then you can charge it to make it have fewer shots, and it'll concentrate them into a single shot. And if you charge it all the way, it'll be a single concentrated bolt, and it's incredibly powerful. It can pretty much one-shot any infantry unit. It's very powerful. In the first Battlefront, it was the other way around. It was a it was like a single action or semi-auto type of bolt, and then if you charge it up, it had a spread of 5 shots, and it was not nearly as effective. The new bowcaster is much better. Then the grenade launcher is exactly the same as it's ever been. It's a contextual instant damage if you hit an enemy with it, just like the other grenade launchers that the Imperial Officer and the Magna Guard have. The special class for the Rebels, though, is something we have not seen yet. It's incredibly nasty, and we'll be showing it off in the next level, I believe. Although the plot significance of them should be more relevant to this mission. So we captured the detention block here, as seen in Episode 4. And, again, I don't remember the quote well enough, so I'm switching over to the Imperial Officer class here again, and we're going to try to get the plans back from this Rebel over here. This is a really fun map in Instant Action, but it's very unbalanced. If you'll notice, you have a significant disadvantage as one side or another. If you're playing this as the Empire in Instant Action, or if you're playing as either the Empire or the Republic, depending on which, and for some reason you're able to do this battle in the Clone Wars, which I know makes no sense because the Death Star didn't exist back then, but we'll forgive that for the sake of the gameplay. It's just the command post locations are very unbalanced if you're not playing with a bunch of human characters. If it's just you against the AI, this is a very, very unbalanced map. I'm actually not feeling the officer anymore. Like I said, I really like his class, but just forget it. I mean, I'm just gonna be the Dark Trooper For some reason, like I said, I remember him being very good, but his weapons just don't seem very effective, especially that Sonic Blaster. The Grenade Launcher is good, of course, but I just not feeling it. And I'm never going to use a Recon Droid, or the buff effect that all the officers have is nice, but it's more strategic, and I'm not going to be using it to complete objectives. So the Dark Trooper it is, and with the Dark Trooper, I just jump packed across this room here. This is the room where, as seen in the film, Obi-Wan deactivates the tractor beam that's keeping the Millennium Falcon inside the Death Star. So they really included everything in here. I mean, this is a pretty detailed map. There's even the garbage chute that they go into, and that's an instant death trap. It's an environmental hazard. Similar to the Rancor and Jabba's Palace, which is a map we will not be seeing in the Rise of the Empire campaign because there's no reason to ever go there. And that's another map that could be played in Clone Wars, and chronologically makes no sense. I mean, they were smart enough in certain maps like, you know, Endor and Hoth that you obviously couldn't play in the Clone Wars, and Geonosis you obviously couldn't play in the Galactic Civil War, but other than that, you know, there are ones like Utapau and this that they introduced for this game. It seems like all the ones that they had for the last game, they were era-specific. They kind of kept era-specific, but in this one, all the new ones are cross-era, cross-generation. So now we got to capture the fire control room for the Death Star super laser. Surprisingly, all of this is on the same floor. You would think a giant spherical space station with like hundreds of thousands of floors would not have everything on the exact same level, but again, we'll forgive it for the sake of the game design. I threw a couple of thermal detonators in there because this can get really crazy really fast. Again, like I was saying earlier, once you start hitting the Galactic Civil War levels in this game, it gets a lot harder. So we really needed to clear those guys out. This is actually, I remember this level being a lot harder, but the next level I think is the one I'm worried about more so. So we can probably get through this pretty quick. I'm actually making very short work of this level. This can be a pretty challenging level. And you'll notice as you go on that the rebels are just acquiring new command posts arbitrarily, even though they're not actually moving into those areas. So after we've captured the fire control room and the Death Star super laser will fire periodically, we can go into... after we've captured it, we have a 3-minute timer to destroy the dropship that they have commandeered, so that they will not be able to escape. Now, it's the very same dropship that the 501st arrived in, so that was inconvenient of them, I guess. I've killed enough people with a blaster pistol or commando pistol enough times to where I've unlocked the gunslinger medal 4 times, and by doing it 4 times and 4 separate times in different missions, I've gotten an award pistol, which is a incredibly powerful blaster pistol. It's precision. The shots travel incredibly fast, so there's no way the enemies can really dodge it, and it is obscenely overpowered. And you only have this for as long as you're alive. If you die, you lose it. And if you get that award so many times and you increase your rank high enough, you'll get it permanently. To where if you just switch from your blaster pistol and then back, you'll have it. The same thing goes with all weapons in this game. There is an award version of every weapon in the game. In my profile in the PS2 version that I was not using for the Let's Play has all of them unlocked. And the conditions for unlocking some of the other ones are a lot more rare. The award pistol and the award rifle are pretty easy, but the award sniper rifle requires headshots to get the marksman award. And the rocket launcher requires critical hits on vehicles' weak spots, which is not as easy as it sounds to do repeatedly over and over again to get the thing permanently. And the award rocket launcher is actually not even all that great because it's the same homing rockets you get in the AT-ST or on the space bombers. It can be fun to just kind of sit there in place and launch homing rockets at people, but I just don't think it's worth it personally. I guess it can be pretty devastating if you know how to use it, and especially if you start with it. But all the award weapons are obscenely broken, so that's why I was playing with the new profile, so I didn't use them. It's going to add a lot more challenge to the game to not have them, because you are essentially a one-man. All of these buffs, too, like I just deployed from the Imperial Officer here, are... Oh, good job there, Jedi, blocking that grenade right back at me. Yeah, the Jedi is our final target here, but like I said, the... you can't... you are a one-man army with all those. All those buffs are permanent when you unlock those as the war hero awards and all those other awards that you get. You can get those permanently, and you just become, and see how he's glowing right there. You can get that permanently. Damage increase, damage resistance, stamina regeneration, just all kinds of ridiculous stuff, and you just become a one-man army. You may not realize how significant it is until you play at a casual profile again, or you play the first Battlefront game again that didn't have these.
After the embarrassment of the prison break, Lord Vader removed us from our comfortable belay and began dragging the 501st across the galaxy in a dangerous hunt for the now missing Death Star plans. Ironically, our punishment eventually proved to be our salvation. The poor souls who took our place in the detention area were completely wiped out when the Death Star was destroyed.